Today, we're going to follow the incredible journey of a single word. This is something that happens thousands, maybe millions of times a day for each of us, but we barely ever think about it. We're going to track a word from a simple thought in one person's brain, all the way to a fully understood idea in someone else's. I mean, really think about it. How does that happen? It feels instant, right? Almost like magic. You think it, you say it, but what's actually going on under the hood is this beautifully complex process. So let's pull back the curtain. And there's a name for this whole process. Scientists call it the speech chain. You can just think of it as a map, a step-by-step guide that shows us how communication actually works. It's the blueprint, and we're about to walk through it together. Okay, so our journey starts in a pretty quiet place, inside the speaker's mind. Before you even hear a single thing, there's a whole lot of prep work going on behind the scenes. It really does all start with a thought. This is the very first link in the chain. The speaker decides on a message. Let's keep it simple, like hello. The brain grabs that word, knows what it means, and gets it ready for launch. So once the brain has the word, it's like a director shouting action. It sends a flood of signals to your body's own personal sound studio. We call these your articulators. They're the physical tools, your tongue, your lips, your teeth, even your vocal cords, and they all have to work together with insane precision to shape air into sound. Now here is where it gets really, really cool. Tiny little changes in what these tools do can create completely different sounds. And one of the biggest ones is something your vocal cords do or, well, don't do. It all comes down to a tiny vibration. Check this out. Take the sounds at the beginning of bat and pat. Go on, try it right now. Put your fingers right on your throat and say b-b-bat. Feel that little buzz? That's your vocal cords vibrating. Now say p-p-pat. Nothing, right? It's just a puff of air. That tiny buzz is what linguists call voicing, and it's literally the only difference between a B and a P. And it works for lots of other sounds too. Try saying van, then say fan. You feel it again, don't you? That VV sound is voiced. It's got that vibration, while the FF sound is voiceless. It's just air. This is a perfect peek into how the mechanics of speech build our language, one little vibration at a time. All right, so the word has been built and launched from the speaker's mouth. The first part of the journey is done. Now for the next leg, its trip through the air itself. This is what we call the acoustic level of the speech chain. Our word hello isn't a brain signal anymore. It's not a physical movement. It's now pure energy, a pattern of invisible vibrations or sound waves traveling from the speaker out into the world. So the message is flying through the air, but the journey is not over yet. A message sent is useless if no one's there to receive it. Now it's the listener's turn to step up. As those invisible sound waves finally reach the listener, they hit the eardrum and make it vibrate in exactly the same pattern. This is where the listener's body takes over. The ear is like this amazing satellite dish, catching that acoustic energy and starting the incredible process of translating it back into brain signals. And for the final step, those signals zip along to the listener's brain. The brain gets the message, decodes the patterns, recognizes it as the word hello, and understands what it means. And just like that, the journey is complete. The thought has made it safe and sound. Okay, so we've mapped the entire journey. It's a fascinating bit of science, for sure. But so what? Why is it actually important to understand all this in the real world? Well, before we get to that, let's do a super quick recap. You can think of the whole speech chain like a 5-person relay race. First, the speaker's brain has the idea. Bat and pass. Their body creates the sound. Bat and pass. The sound travels through the air. Bat and pass. The listener's ear catches it. And the final pass, the listener's brain understands it. Every single step is absolutely crucial. So why do we really need to know about all this stuff, about articulators and sound waves? Because knowing how the chain works gives us the tools to fix it when it breaks, to help people learn it, and to just get better at it ourselves. You know, the science of phonetics is incredibly powerful. It helps people who are learning a new language nail their pronunciation. It's absolutely essential for speech therapists helping people with communication disorders. It can even make you a better, more active listener. This isn't just for scientists in a lab. Here's a perfect example from speech therapy. We've all heard a little kid say wabbit instead of rabbit. Well, a speech therapist who understands phonetics knows exactly what the tongue is doing wrong. And because they know that, they can give the child specific exercises to help them make that R sound correctly. And it goes even deeper than that. Phonetics isn't just about individual sounds. It's also about rhythm, about emphasis. Sometimes the entire meaning of a word can flip just depending on which part of it you stress. For instance, if I say dessert with a stress on that first syllable, you're probably picturing a hot, sandy place, right? But if I just shift the stress and say dessert, now you're thinking about cake. Same letters, same sounds, totally different word. All because of where we put the emphasis. Understanding these little details is a total game changer for people learning a new language, especially when they run into sounds that just don't exist in their native tongue. English vowels, for example, can be a real nightmare. Just look at these two words. The only real difference between sheep and ship is how long you hold the vowel sound. Sheep has that long E sound. Ship has a short, sharp I sound. For a lot of learners, telling those apart is super tough. But once you understand the science, you have the tools to actually teach and learn that difference. So the takeaway here is that speech is so much more than just noise. It is an incredible, structured, physical, and mental marvel. And maybe the next time you're having a conversation, you'll pay a little more attention to those subtle vibrations, or where someone puts the stress on a word. Now that you know the secret journey, what will you listen for?